Hello, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. It's Wednesday morning, hump day, and we're coming to you today with a brief broadcast about some of the things that are going on with regard to the election debacle that the Democrats are having, whether or not the honeymoon period for Kamala Harris will continue and how long will it continue. Noting that we have a lot of different views coming out, a lot of TikTok activity trying to get the younger people to realize that she's running, number one, and number two, to garner favorability with the young vote or the Gen Z vote, because they know everyone uses TikTok there. So whether or not that will work for them leaves a little bit to us to determine going into the next 5 months of listening to the battles that will ensue, the name calling and everything else that will happen, the convicted felon accusations and all of this and all of that. But meantime, let's get to some things that are going on in America that should be more important than a TikTok of Kamala Harris falling from a coconut tree or brat or whatever this thing is that they're trying to promote among the young people is beyond my understanding. But let's take a ride out to Yellowstone. They had a geyser explode there yesterday. It was quite the scene. A lot of lava and rock and everything came out of it. People were scrambling to get off the walkways there, and they have been forecasting for something to happen out in the Yellowstone area for the last year and a half or even more now. Saying that they expected an eruption somewhere in that region, and whether or not this is the one they were waiting for, we don't know. Old Faithful, they say, will not erupt again for another umpteen years, so that is off the table of talking about now, but they did have their explosion. And of course, you know, down in the Hawaiian Islands came to be because of a volcanic eruption. They're all volcanic islands there, and 2 of those volcanoes are still very active there. So those people have to worry about building on the sides of hills that could be affected. And at any given time, when you look at the state of what's happening with the climate and things of in that area of worry, there is always a possibility, if you live next to a volcano, that you will get an eruption at some point. They're still digging out Pompeii. And these are things that are happening and do happen because of tectonic shifts and things all related to what's going on in the Earth's core and the heating and cooling of the Earth's core. So the scientists are on top of this, and they'll let us know if there's any reason to start to worry about something happening here in the mainland United States, which has happened now in Yellowstone. So we have a rainy week going on here in East Tennessee, and it's raining due to a front that stalled in the southern region of the United States, southeast region of the United States. And I hope and pray that the people that are affected by the fires out west and things of that worry that they'll be okay. There is a massive heat wave going on out west, and we know that. We're aware of that. Whether it or not it has anything to do with the eruption in Yellowstone, we don't know, but I'm sure they'll tell us. There's quite the flap going on in Washington, D.C. today over the fact that Netanyahu will address Congress, and there's already been a pack of Democrats and Republicans that are refusing to go listen to him. I think that that is highly unfair of them to take that attitude, and that will be up to and including Kamala Harris, that doesn't want to have anything to do with that. But then we look at the fact that we're looking at that war continuing over there, as well as the war in the Ukraine against Russia is continuing. We have a dictator that is running the Ukraine. We're all aware of that now. He's canceled any future elections, canceled the last election, and jailed most of his opponents. So you can't get more dictatorish than that. But Joe Biden has been behind him 100%, and so has Chuck Schumer and the bunch there that back Zelensky. Why they're backing Zelensky, we don't know, but there's an awful lot of money on the table, and I think if we follow that money, we'll find out that there's a lot of shenanigans going on inside the hallowed halls of our Senate and our House of Representatives. Not to say that they're all involved, but there's a great majority that has involved themselves into this. So we're having in the studio here a few camera issues that are going on, and we're changing lenses, and I'm doing this broadcast today through a different camera. I hope that everything looks okay to you, but we'll have an even more refined version of this coming out soon. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see any changes in the way the studio is, or the sound, or the visuals that you're seeing. And we try here, we're new at this, fairly new compared to some of the other channels that are out there, so it's trial and error for me. I'm a one-man show here because I don't have a staff, I don't have IT people here, and I certainly don't have cameramen here. So it's difficult. I have many cameras that I am trying out to find the best one, and we'll be doing multi-camera angles before too long, but I have to learn these things the same as you would have to if you were starting a channel. You have to go into study and trial and error until you find the proper combination of sound, lighting, and so on. Lighting is very important when you're putting out any kind of a YouTube or any kind of a movie to give to people, because lighting means a lot to how you perceive backgrounds and things of that nature. We do not use green screen here. I've thought about it, and you can put multiple backgrounds into a green screen effect and make you look really, really professional if you have the know-how to do that. I've toyed with the idea of trying to learn that, but I'd rather sit in my comfortable office studio and bring you the daily Kaiser Report as we do every day, Monday through Friday. You'll get a Kaiser Report, and you'll get a tour, a small town tour or a place of interest on weekends from time to time. And we appreciate you all tuning in to see the Kaiser Report. And Kaiser's right here with me at all times. And as I told you in the past, this channel has been inspired by Kaiser von Berlin, and that's our standard poodle, and he's here all the time with me, and he goes out on all the tours with me. You'll see him from time to time, and at the beginning of this video, you got a nice picture of him hanging out with me. So what else is new? I understand this morning, I think Piers Morgan was on Fox News this morning and mentioned something about the golf game that took place with the winner of the European Open, played with him yesterday and remarked about what a great golfer he was. And they showed actually a very difficult putt that he made. Um, Trump did, and remarked about that he is a very good golfer, for what it's worth. And the other guy that has remained or was AWOL for 7 or 8 days has decided to come back to Washington yesterday. We have a video of him open mouthed and a stupid smile on his face, not answering any of the reporters' questions. And he's going to address the nation tonight at 8 p.m. I'm sure all of the major networks will carry that. It will be interesting to hear his take on this step down of his and what he's thinking and who he's going to support. I think he's a very angry individual right now due to all the backstabbing that's taken place by not only the Obamas and the Clintons, but by people who were just a scant 10 days ago telling you what a great performance he's going to give and how he's going to win this election and he's going to stay in it to win it. And that all changed somehow fairly rapidly, it looks like. But it is what it is, and we'll hear what he has to say tonight. I believe that he's not well. He doesn't look well. And there was some freezing on his way to the airplane when the questions were asked, and all he got out of him was what? And then the open mouth, the mouth breathing, and things of that same old Joe. I think it's a crime of what they've done to him, and I think it's also a crime that the entire party, including mainstream media, has taken it upon themselves for the last 4 years to tell you how sharp and how on the ball that Joe Biden is and what a great job he does in diplomacy, and he's got all these things passed and put through. I'm not sure what it is that they passed other than they passed on closing the border. But he's going to say that his executive decision and executive order from a couple of months ago just fixed the whole border problem, just letting 2,500 a day through the legal entry ports. They forget to tell you these things on mainstream media. They continue to cover up. They continue to lie. And they also continue now to back someone who has been intricately involved in all of the things that went wrong in the Biden administration. The number 2 position in that organization was guilty of the cover-up, even more so than the senators and congressmen and the news media were in pulling the wool over the American public's eyes. We all saw this for the first time on the 80th anniversary of the D-Day celebration, where he froze up and did some horrific things. And then the debate happened. They threw him into that debate for one reason and one reason only. They didn't know another way to get rid of old Joe. They all knew, they all continue to know that this man should not in any way, shape, or form be in charge of this country right now, or much less have his hands on the nuclear codes. He's not capable of performing the job that the President of the United States is responsible for performing. It is not an 8 to 4 job. It is a 24-hour job. And then God forbid something major happens and they have to wake this guy up at 8 or 9 o'clock at night he has 11 to 15 minutes to make decisions that could annihilate half this world. Or better yet, our entire country. So if you're too weak to run, Joe, and you're too feeble-minded to stand trial for something because you have a bad memory, why in the heck have you not resigned from your position and let the vice president walk into the position that she's in line to walk into? So we, the people, can have 5 months of seeing, is she capable of running this country, and is she going to be accepted by the voting population here, because she has not won one vote or any primaries to put her in the position that she is now being coronated to be in. So we have to ask ourselves, what's the rest of the world thinking? Listen to Piers Morgan this morning. Listen to the previous prime minister, the woman that was prime minister in the UK, came out yesterday and said that she knew back when she was prime minister that he didn't have all his marbles in the same bag. So we have to say, what in the world was our media doing, and why was it all covered up? Why does this happen? Why is this allowed to happen? Well, we'll see what shakes out, and we'll listen tonight to what Dementia Joe has to say. And God bless him. I really feel bad for him in some aspects, because no one deserves to be treated the way they just handled him. And I'll tell you what, anybody that trusts Barack Obama needs to have their head examined. He's the key. He and Pelosi are the key in destroying this man's legacy. And based on what they write for him to say tonight, I highly doubt that he wrote the letter backing out of the race. There's questions about the signature. Why does it say Biden's instead of Junior at the end of his signature like he signs everything else? Did Jill and Hunter write that for him? I doubt it, because Hunter's just worried that he won't get pardoned. And why is he going to stay in for the rest of this term? Because he's allowed to, because they don't want to pull the trigger on the 25th Amendment and put Kamala in charge. But yet, they'll put her up to run in this election. What does that smack of? What does that tell you? Anyway, enough of that. We'll hear what he has to say tonight, or what somebody writes for him to say tonight. And hopefully the man can go get some rest and live out the rest of his life with all the money that they have stashed. I'm sure Hunter will provide. And let's hope that Netanyahu has some good things to say, and let's hope that it doesn't all fall on deaf ears. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Israel. But I think Israel was attacked, and I believe in my heart of hearts that Israel has the right to defend their sovereignty and their country and their countrymen. Hands down, they have more of a right than Zelensky has to take into our billions with no accountability. Israel has always been straight up front about buying what they needed from us, not coming here with your hand out every 5 minutes in your dirty sweatshirt like Zelensky does. Enough of that. I don't want to get carried away on that anymore today, but I want to wish you all a very, very happy hump day. It's Wednesday, and Wednesday means we're halfway through to the weekend. And the weekend coming up, we're going to try, as I said yesterday, to get out and see Rocky Mount, which is the original governor of this territory when it was a territory, and that's located in Bluntville, Tennessee, named after the first governor, Blunt. And there's some really interesting things there, and I'm looking forward to getting the camera there and bringing it to you. So God bless you all. Don't forget to pray for our country. Don't forget to pray for this election. And don't forget to pray for the men and women that are out there defending our nation and protecting you and I. So with that, God bless you. Have a great, great day. And we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye now.